I'll be lovable once I fix this. Once I'm better. Once I stop being so broken. They straighten their posture, force a smile, and walk out pretending they're fine. But deep inside, they still believe they're not worthy yet. What if that belief has silently shaped everything in your life? What if you've been postponing love, connection, and self-respect because you've been chasing some invisible version of fixed? In this video, we'll talk about the quiet lie that says you need to be healed to be loved, and why the truth is the complete opposite. Stick with me until the end, because we're going to dismantle something that's been stealing your peace for years. There's a deeply rooted belief many people carry, that only the healed get to be loved. It doesn't usually sound that dramatic. It's more like, I don't want to drag someone into my mess. Or, I just need to work on myself first. Or worse, who would want someone like me, with all of this baggage? And those thoughts, they sound noble, mature, even self-aware. But if you look closer, they're not about growth. They're about shame. Somewhere along the way, many people were taught that love is something you earn by becoming less of who you are and more of what others expect. That if you just fix your insecurities, your past, your anxiety, then you'll finally be enough. And so they start collecting certifications of worthiness. Better body, better income, better confidence, better emotional control. But here's the painful truth. The more you try to earn love by changing yourself, the more disconnected you become from the version of you who already deserved it. Real love, the kind that sees, holds, and doesn't flinch, doesn't require you to be flawless. It just needs you to be real. Let's make this clear. Love is not a reward for healing. Love is not a trophy for getting your life together. Love is not something you get once you've cleaned up all the mess inside you. In fact, some of the most authentic love you'll ever experience will come in the middle of your mess, not after it. Now, this doesn't mean growth doesn't matter, or that healing isn't beautiful. Of course it is. But healing isn't a performance for love. It's a journey for you. And sometimes, love is what makes that journey possible in the first place. Think of it like this. If you broke your leg, would someone require you to run before they gave you help? Would they say, I'll be here for you, once you can walk again? Of course not. So why do we do that with emotional pain? Picture this, a cracked pot in a quiet room. Someone picks it up, examines the fracture, and instead of throwing it away, they fill it with soil and plant something inside. With time, the cracks don't disappear, they're still visible. But now, from within them grows something real. Green. Alive. That pot didn't need to be perfect to be useful. It just needed to be held, filled, and believed in. So do you. This is the message people rarely hear. You don't have to be fixed to be worthy of love. You don't need to hide the parts of you that still ache. You don't have to apologize for still being in process. In fact, your willingness to show up as you are, cracked, messy, in progress, may be the most courageous thing you ever do. Because love isn't waiting at the finish line. It's standing beside you right now, asking, will you let yourself be seen? To understand why so many people feel unworthy of love until they're fixed, we have to go back, not to a single memory, but to a pattern that started quietly and early. It may have started when you were a child and got in trouble for crying. Or when you were told, no one likes someone who's always upset. Maybe it was when someone gave you more attention when you smiled and stayed quiet, not when you told the truth about how you felt. Little by little, your heart absorbed a dangerous rule. If I want to be accepted, I have to be easier to love. That might mean hiding your sadness, pretending to be strong when you're actually tired, becoming the helper, the fixer, the one who has it together, even when you're falling apart inside. And the worst part, people might have praised you for it. For being the strong one, the independent one, the selfless one. But here's the cost. You began performing worthiness instead of experiencing love. You learned to make yourself more lovable by becoming less you. And now, as an adult, you might still be carrying that same burden. You might think that if someone really saw the parts of you that still hurt, they'd leave. That if you show your fear, your confusion, your unhealed parts, the love would disappear. But that's not love. That's approval dressed up like affection. And it's not what your soul is craving. Take a moment and ask yourself, who taught you that you had to be perfect to be loved? Whose voice are you still carrying that whispers, "You're too much," or "You're not enough"? Sometimes, those voices don't even belong to the people who love us now. They're echoes from the past, stuck on replay. And until we recognize them, we keep trying to fix ourselves for an audience that's no longer watching. But healing doesn't begin when you finally changed everything. It begins when you realize you were never broken in the first place, only human. Imagine two people on a long, winding trail. One of them is limping from an old injury. They're slow, sometimes in pain, but they keep going. The other person walks beside them, not rushing, not complaining, just present. They're not there because the first person is strong. They're there because they love who they are, even in their weakness. That's love. It doesn't always fix. It doesn't always cure. But it stays. So let's make this more than a comforting thought. Let's make it actionable. Here are 3 simple but powerful shifts you can start practicing, not to fix yourself, but to free yourself from the lie of unworthiness. 1. Stop apologizing for your process. When you're feeling anxious, sad, overwhelmed, don't say, "Sorry, I'm a mess." Say, "This is a human moment, and I'm allowed to have it." You're not a problem to solve. You're a person in motion. Speak to yourself accordingly. 2. Practice receiving love without conditions. This might mean letting someone see your rough days. It might mean answering, "How are you?" honestly. It might mean saying, "I'm not okay today," and not rushing to fix it just to make others comfortable. Let love meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. 3. Remember that love is a mirror, not a prize. The people who truly love you don't give you worth. They reflect what's already there. When you find love that doesn't demand a performance, protect it, nurture it, and more importantly, believe it. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. What part of yourself are you still trying to erase to feel worthy? Is it your sensitivity, your past, your fears, your silence? What if, instead of fixing those parts, you simply offered them compassion? What if those were the very things that made your love more sincere, more gentle, more real? In the final part of this video, we're going to talk about the freedom that comes when you finally stop trying to earn love, and how embracing your whole self can shift everything. Are you ready to stop waiting until you're fixed? Let's finish this journey together. So here you are, still in process, still carrying things you don't fully understand, still healing in places that ache quietly, and still, somehow, completely worthy of love. There's a kind of peace that arrives the moment you stop negotiating with yourself for worth. No more, "Maybe once I'm stronger." No more, "I'll let myself feel love when I deserve it." What happens when you remove the "when"? What's left when love no longer has to be earned? What's left is you. Raw, present, unfiltered, human. And that version of you, not the one you hope to become someday, but the one sitting quietly behind your eyes right now, is the one who deserves to be seen, held, and cherished. You might have believed that being put together protects you. That if you just appear strong, composed, competent, people won't leave. And maybe that's true. Some people are only comfortable with the polished version of others. But those are not your people. The ones who are meant to walk with you through life won't flinch at your flaws. They won't run from your grief, your silence, or your need. They'll sit with you in the dark, not because they're trying to pull you into the light, but because they understand that light can take time. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop performing is the moment you become magnetic. People are drawn to what's real, to what's honest, to what they can feel and trust, not just admire from a distance. Imagine someone looking into a mirror with a crack running through it. They think, "I can't be seen like this. I need a new mirror, a clean one." But when they try to replace it, nothing feels right. Until one day, they realize, the crack tells a story. It doesn't ruin the reflection, it adds depth to it. Suddenly, the reflection feels alive. Not perfect, but personal. True. You're that mirror. And someone out there is not looking for perfection. They're looking for you, exactly as you are. You've spent so much time trying to fix what was never broken. So much energy trying to be enough for people who never saw your full light. But now, in this quiet moment, let this truth settle in your chest. You are not a project. You are not an improvement plan. You are not a before picture. You are a whole, breathing, feeling human being. And you are worthy of love, right now. Not later. Not after. So let yourself be seen. Let yourself be held. Let yourself begin again. Not because you need to be fixed, but because you finally know you don't.